Good morning, everyone. Hi, Barbara. Hi, AC. Hi, Malika. Hi, Rhonda. Good morning. We're starting just outside Botanical Gardens in the extended parklands, which are attached to the Botanical Gardens. And this is the domain. Good morning, Kamuji. Hi, Richard. How you going? Hi, Paul. Hi, Ava. So where we are, and I see my signal's just dipped for no apparent reason, and now it's back again. Hi, Jan. Hi, Dina and Veronica. So we're standing at the domain, and this over here, they're setting up, getting ready for Carols by Candlelight, which is a televised event that happens in a few weeks and is televised. And that's a big production, and that's where that will be held over there. Hi, Rhonda. Good morning. And so what we'll do is we'll walk past where they've just taken down all the hoardings outside the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and it's looking beautiful. They've completed the Sydney Modern wing, and we'll have a look at the front of that. Now, I can't do a tour from here because I'm not allowed in with my gimbal, which is really sad. But anyway, we'll look at the outside of it on our way to the Botanical Gardens. Beautiful old building. Hi, Veronica. Hi, Paula. Hi from Hawaii. Welcome. I reckon we're getting your humidity here right now. So this is the new reflection pools that they've installed outside the State Gallery of New South Wales. And over here on my right is the impressive front entrance of the State Art Gallery. Free entry, but gimbal's not welcome. Yes, I've been booted out of there before while I was testing a signal. It's all right, the signal in there is atrocious anyway. So absolutely no point attempting to do a tour from inside this impressive building. Hi, Chelsea. Hi, Virginia. Hi, Rhonda. And hi, Christina. Here we go. So what's new here is the Sydney Modern wing, which hasn't quite opened yet. I'm excited to see inside the Sydney Modern. Hi, Vanda. One day I'll come here and check out the inside of it and see if we can't persuade them to let me run a tour from inside here, which would be amazing. So they've cleaned up the front of the gallery. Hi, Flick. Hi, Dawn. So here's the new modern wing. And before we get to it, they've improved the gardens outside the art gallery. This is now called the Pearl and Ming T. Lee Plaza and Art Garden. So I need to find out more about that as well. And over here, this is actually a deliberate artwork. This tree, let me tell you a little bit about it. I was just reading the plaque about it. Surrounded by bird's nest ferns, was planted in 1984 by a German artist by the name of Joseph. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is that Boys? And it was part of an international, a global initiative, 7,000 oaks, city reforestation instead of city administration. I'm not going to try and read that German title, but this Moreton Bay fig was planted in 1984 next to the basalt stone, and basically when it was planted 38 years ago, the tree was the same height as the stone. So what it says is that when it was planted here in 1984, on the occasion of the 5th Biennale of Sydney, the young tree was only slightly taller than the stone. Placed side by side, they can contrast different natural processes and timescales. The basalt formed rapidly after a lava flow and will take millennia to erode, slowly releasing minerals back into the soil, while the tree, which now towers over the column, will grow for more than a century. So that's that one there outside the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and this is the Moreton Bay fig, just a small one. Just a small one. If we look across the road into the domain, we can see significantly larger ones. Oh, well done, Fliss. So I hope you've got a big block of land. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Louise. Hi, Laurie. And, of course, hi, Fliss, and Michelle, and Lorna. So let me just look back towards the city from here. We had sunshine. Literally 10 minutes ago. And as soon as I turned the camera on, here we are. We've got overcast now, cloud. So there's the Westfield Tower, which is the 3rd tallest building in Australia, after the tallest, which is in the Gold Coast, and the 2nd tallest, which is in Melbourne. And then this is the city skyline from this point of view. Then looking over here, we can see that this is the new Sydney Modern of the Art Gallery of New South Wales. And I'm intrigued to learn more about these impressive sculptures on the forecourt. Zoom in on them for a look. They look, I don't know, they're very human form, but I don't know what they represent. Over here is this one as well. Big long limbs. This one has a second humanoid form on its back. Rather intriguing. So I'm very curious about those. And this is the building itself. There's so many machines and cars and vehicles around at the moment. That's all right. Once we get inside the Botanical Gardens, it'll be much quieter. Hi, Will. Hi, Thomas. Hi, Cynthia. So we really don't get any idea at all of what it's going to be like inside from this angle. We just have to wait and see. And then over here, the city skyline from another point of view, with the Westfield Tower in the background. I think there's a crossing up ahead, so I might wait and go over there. That's the Carl Expressway down there where that traffic is, which circles the city and out towards the eastern suburbs. Hi, Dolores. So here's the entrance to the Botanical Gardens. I noticed that we've just ticked over time, so let me get across the road and I will turn the camera around, we'll get to the pedestrian crossing. But this looks intriguing as well, this outdoor area, rooftop outdoor area at the Sydney Modern. I don't know if this fencing is staying, it probably is, but there's some sort of like colourful playground just over there. Really interesting. Okay, we'll cross the road. So this is the southeast entrance to the Botanical Gardens. Let me just turn the camera around and welcome you all. Good morning. Hi. To anyone I haven't met before, my name's Lynn. We're meeting today at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Sydney, and practically in the centre of the city. So before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we're meeting today on the traditional lands of the Gadigal people and pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. All right, so let's begin, shall we? To turn this camera around and look at the beautiful entrance at the southeast corner of the Botanical Gardens. And we're welcomed with these extraordinary grass trees, all in flower or just past the prime of their flowering. The botanical name is Xanthorrhoea, which begins with an X. So if you need an X word for any of your games, there's one for you. And it looks like this palm's just starting to go into flower as well. I've never seen it like that before, so that's new. And then we have these lovely fountains and pools at the entrance, and the gorgeous cactuses. So this is Australia's oldest botanical gardens. It was created in 1816, which was not long after the colony was created. In fact, the first arrival was in 1788. So that's what, my maths, 28 years following the first arrival, we already have the creation of a botanical garden. Hi Debbie, hi Shay. And I just love these big, I think they're called barrel cactuses, is that right? Let me see. Oh, golden barrel cactus, there we go. Aren't they beautiful? Fish hook, did you see a fish hook? Oh, okay. And then we have the gate themselves, the gate columns. So this gate was built in 1873. So this is actually the site of not only the first farm for the colony, but also the first zoo. In fact, the succulent garden that we're heading towards, I think they are bromeliads, Thomas. Let's go back and have a look. Do you mean, let me see, which ones are we talking about? These ones? I'm pretty sure they are a type of bromeliad. There is no plaque for them, but I'm actually fairly certain it is a type of bromeliad. No label on that one. Yeah. I expect we'll see more similar when we get round to the succulent garden. I forget the numbers of plants in this garden, but I think it's something, it's certainly tens of thousands. And I'm no specialist, but I know some, but not very many. We'll muddle along together. Alrighty. So this little information kiosk doesn't have anyone here at the moment. It's manned by volunteers, but it gives you some posters and plaques about some of the things that are happening in the gardens at the moment. Hi Lynn, hi Bronwyn, did I miss anybody? Hi Robin Ann. Anybody else? I'm just looking back to see if I missed anybody. Welcome everybody to the Botanical Gardens, the Royal Botanic Gardens in Sydney. And I'll just give you some orientation of where we're actually located. So we came through what's actually officially known as the Woolloomooloo Gate. At this point here, there's the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and we will be walking around to the succulent gardens here. With any time left over, we'll head down towards the Sydney Harbour, and we'll have some views, hopefully, of the Sydney Harbour Bridge from that point there. So you can see the extent of the gardens. It's 30 hectares. So we have something like 10 entrance gates around the perimeter. This is where the Opera House is located. over on that point there. And this is where Mrs. Macquarie's chair is located, around about here. So, and the Harbour Bridge, of course, is just out of shot up there. So we're only going to see a very small portion of the gardens today. Alrighty. They are, except for the traffic noise, but we should be moving away from that. But yes, they're certainly very peaceful. Hi, Randy. So as the oldest botanical gardens, is also one of the most important research science facilities in the world. The botanical aspects here, the research, a lot of it happens in these buildings. These buildings on my right are not only administration, they're also science, botanical science and research facilities. And let's just stop for a moment and have a look at this lovely fountain. Hi, Judy. So the fountain was dedicated to, I believe he was important in the city's commerce. His name, Louis Levy, or Levi. And there's, I know it's hard to see against the sky, but that's the lovely statue on the top there. So we're heading towards the succulent garden. Right in front of us is one of the most incredible eucalyptus trees I think I've ever seen. It's colossal, almost sculptural, really beautiful tree. Hi, Katie. Hi, Camillo. And hi, Joydell. All right, now, this is interesting. What we have here is, this is the masked lapwing, also commonly called a plover. They nest out in the open. Now, I'm intrigued as to what this one is doing, especially with this ride-on mower in the background. They are very protective. They will nest in the most awkward of places. Run. I don't think he's going to attack me, but they do have spurs on their wings. But I don't know what this bird is doing. It's just sitting there. All right, it's woken up. It's alert now. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on. They are very protective. They'll use diversionary tactics as well. So they'll make a loud noise and run off and try and lead you away from where they're nesting. He's eyeing me off all right, yes. Hi, Terry. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Harry. Welcome, everybody. All right, we're just admiring this beautiful, beautiful eucalyptus tree. And let me just sort of stand under it and we'll look up so you can get an idea of the scale of this thing. It's very, very lovely. Beautiful tree. Absolutely gorgeous. And over on my left here is one of the, it's called, originally called the palm house, but I think it's mainly used for, and that's interesting. We're just going to take a little diversion. It's used as like a potting up house now, I believe. But I'm interested in this. What's going on over here? It looks like they've built some sort of a, I know they do kids education here, but this is interesting. It looks like they've tried to recreate a shelter of some sort. So, and there's also Indigenous tours happen in the botanical gardens as well. So I'm guessing that this has something to do with one of the education programs. And this is a cycad. Look at the seed pods, the flowering, whatever that is, in the middle there. Quite huge. But we're not getting any closer to the succulent garden while we're doing this, are we? Sorry, I'm distracted again by these beautiful kangaroo tails grass trees. Sorry, did I miss a question, Flick? Someone's asking what time of year it is, I guess, by the answer. Yes, it's literally right at the end of spring for us. So 1st of December in Australia is the designated start of summer. I know that other countries take their seasons by the solstices and equinoxes, but we take them from the beginning of the month. Now, this garden here that we're walking through recreates the early farm garden of the early settlement, and it also highlights that they brought their own. Obviously, they brought seeds and plantings from back home, and tried to start agriculture using what they knew, without knowing that, of course, there was an indigenous population and they fed themselves. So logically, there had to be food of some sort here. And to this day, it's still really not made the most of, I guess you'd say. Now, this tree in the middle is literally a living fossil. I've just noticed my signal dipped down to 2, so I hope everyone's still okay. Hi, Laura. Just reading Felicia's comment. When I was in primary school, we went on a tour of the gardens. Yeah, excellent. I don't think we ever actually did that when I was at school. Certainly don't remember it. And my signal's dipped again down to 1 bar. How are we looking from your end, guys? Is it still looking okay? It's a type of place. We're right in the centre of a major city, and I have no competition in terms of other streamers that I'm aware of. Certainly no one that I can see. But my signal is down to 1 and 2 bars. Here's a bromeliad garden. I'll get back to the living fossil over there. Who asked me about bromeliads? This is a whole garden bed dedicated to bromeliads with some gorgeous flowers. Yes, Fliss. Yeah, we'll get back to the Wallamai pine in a moment. But I just wanted to, while I'm standing here, show you these gorgeous bromeliads. Look at this one. This isn't a bromeliad, this is something else, but look at the flower on it. My goodness, look at that. It's from the Philippines. Medinilla? I don't know how to say that. But those flowers, they're just gorgeous. Look at those. Okay, literally bromeliads all over the place. I wonder if there's any frogs in the middle of these ones. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you so much for your generosity. Oh, always very welcome. Thank you. And these ones, look at these. Okay, so let's get back to that tree that I was showing you, the living fossil. And that's this one right here. As Fliss mentioned, it's a Wallamai pine. It was literally only discovered in a remote canyon, a remote valley in the Blue Mountains, just over 20 years ago. So you can actually see what that looks like. It's very unusual. There we go. So this is the fossil tree, living fossil. Yeah, very expensive to buy. It is being, I don't know what that is. I don't know if there's a fruit on it that they're trying to protect or something. Not sure. Anyway, yes, they are being propagated and sold commercially now. So it is popular, but as Fliss says, it's very expensive. Oh, what is the statue? Sorry, Michelle. Let's go back and have a look at that. Just round it back here. And I just spotted something else that I should mention as well. Okay, let's have a look at her while I read. This is called I Wish. And sorry, it's not exposing well. Just want to try and get that exposure adjusted correctly. I think, oh, it's really struggling, isn't it? It's going dark and light. I might step right back from it. Anyway, it says it was sculpted by Czechoslovakian-born artist Arthur Fleischmann and presented to the gardens by Leo and Ida Buring. Leo Buring was a wine critic, I think. May have even been a wine producer. Oh, is that another? Sorry, we're not going to get to the succulent gardens, are we? Just keep spotting things. I've got to show you this. This is stunning. My goodness. Another bromeliad, I guess. You're welcome, Michelle. No problem at all. And all the different colours in here. I should have gone in further, shouldn't I? Okay, let's try and get to this succulent garden now. Now, as we walk past this Wallamai pine again one last time, it was the original site of Mrs. Macquarie's wishing tree, and I believe that was a Norfolk Island pine. And it was believed that if you walked 3 times around the tree in one direction and then 3 times around the tree back again in another direction and make a wish. Anyway, so I guess that's what they used to do back in the early 1800s. And this is the succulent garden that we're heading towards. Cynthia says, too many shiny baubles for plant lovers. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Oh, squirrel. Look over there. All right, so this describes the succulent garden, which is behind a wall. So it creates a warmer environment. It's paved. And so there's a lot of desert plants in here. And this actually shows the regions where the plants have been brought from, largely from Africa and the Americas. You were going to say squirrel? Everyone knows what we mean when we say squirrel, don't they? Yes. And then this is the layout of the garden itself. So the outer perimeter is from the Americas. We'll see that as we go past. The green is from African and Old World areas, and then the blue is a mixture. And by this stage, I guess you're wondering why I talked about manpower. And we will get to that. We will get to that very soon. But first of all, I just want us to all to admire some of just the sculptural beauty of the succulents. I just love them. You can literally use them as living sculpture in your garden. They're so beautiful. Annette, another guide. Welcome, Annette. How are you? I haven't seen you in so long. So we have Richard from Palm Beach with us today, and now we've got Annette who's joined us as well. So if you're not following either of those two guides, I highly recommend that you do. And I'm just getting a shot with the city in the background. Let's have a look at some of these beautiful, beautiful garden art, garden sculpture. This is really unusual. Look at this one. So everyone probably knows mother-in-law's tongue, the Sansevieria. This variety I'm not familiar with. Every time I come here, I see something new that I haven't noticed before. And this one here. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? Oh, Annette, I really try and keep things interesting. We have been to this garden before a couple of times, but it's been a while since we were here last. And I thought it was about time we came and really soaked up the beauty in the gorgeous, gorgeous gardens here again. And you can see just poking through in the background, there's one of our beautiful jacaranda trees just shining through the back. Now, we mentioned manpower. The connection between manpower and the succulent garden is a landscape architect by the name of Jamie Dury, who actually performed with the original manpower. So Jamie Dury actually designed this garden, and that's what he does these days. He gardens. He designs gardens. On that image, you'll see him in the environment that he loves best. Oh, really, Fliss? That's a fabulous connection. Yes. Well, you know, we try not to sort of, I had to be, I really ummed and ahed and debated whether I should post that image in Facebook. I trying not to sexualize him, because if the shoe was on the other foot, you know, there would be hell to pay. But I thought, no, well, you know, that wasn't really, it was, that's what their business was. And, you know, so anyway, it's up to us as individuals how we want to take that, I guess. Alrighty. So this one's quite stunning, isn't it? Look at it. And now there's a connection here to a glass artist. Oh, I'm trying to remember his name. He has a magnificent sculpture in one of those 6-star hotels in the United Arab Emirates. What's his name? Something weird like Duhili or something. Yay, that's it. Yeah, Chalui. I don't know. Yes, exactly. That's right. I don't know if I've got the spelling right. Dale yeah, that one, Daisy. Exactly. I'm not going to try and say it because I know I'll get it wrong. But that really reminds me of that. That's glass sculpture. And then over here we have euphorbias. I was going to plant up my entire front yard with those at one point because we kept getting dogs coming through and leaving deposits. I thought maybe if I planted up with euphorbias in my front yard, they might stop doing that. So look at this magnificent prickly pear. I missed that part of your tour, Annette. I missed the, is it Chilulu? I'm going to get it wrong. I missed his part of the exhibit. I was only able to join you for part of that tour, but what I saw was absolutely gorgeous. Look at this. Look at the fruit on this. I tell you what, if you're brave enough to get past the prickles, let's get in nice and close to that. Look at that. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm not brave enough, Liz. I'm not going to tamper with these fruit. They're safe from me. And this is the part of the garden that Jamie Dury designed. So it's even more sculptural than the rest of the garden, and it really takes advantage of the shapes. Oh, I would have loved to have seen that, Daisy. Yeah, Bronwyn, I think it's we visited Sicily, and it's a delicacy there as well. And it's actually grown here too, commercially, but I don't know how to handle it safely. Alrighty, are we getting some good postcards here? I don't know if you all agree with me, but I just find this place, it's not the pretty, flowering, showy type of garden. It's something completely different, and that's what I love about it. So beautiful. So we're going to walk up that end over there, and as I said, if we get time, we'll head down towards the harbour. And there's a really lovely, refreshing, cool breeze. Okay, now they were rainbow lorikeets. If they stop somewhere, I'll get you a picture of them, but they're not. They're just flying straight over. So these flowers have obviously finished, whatever they are, going to seed. And even that's beautiful, isn't it? He's sitting on a wall on the other side of the garden over there, trying to keep a low profile, Annette. We might spot him in a moment. Look at this one. I'm going to get up close, try and get some of these barrel cactuses in. Look at that. Wow. Even that dead one there in the middle somehow adds to the shot, don't you think? And I think these are yuccas, maybe. This one up here. I could be wrong about that, I'm not sure. But look at this. They've used the rocks for texture as well. Trying to get it without that little sign in because it's not adding anything. Is that an aloe? Thanks, Thomas. And then another one of these. My friend has one of these in his backyard, and he pruned it, and he was going to chuck it all in the bin, and his girlfriend said, no, don't do that. Advertise pieces of it on Gumtree. And he did. He was getting $80 a piece for this one. This sort of, that one there. Okay, I'm going to walk backwards, try and get more of this in frame for you. We are completely and totally alone in here at the moment. Just us and the lorikeets. Where are you guys? No, they're hidden at the top of that tree. We can't see them. Oh, here's a cactus with a flower. It looks like the flower's almost finished, but look at that. Oh. Oops. Down to 2 bars again. What about this one? Is this a yucca? It's pretty, isn't it? It's getting close to the flowers. Oh, I don't claim to be knowledgeable in it. I know a few. That's about it. The rest of it is just, oh, look at that pretty flower. And here's the sign, just in case you needed reminding that you don't touch prickly things. Look at the size of this one. I'm guessing this is another aloe. Yes, and we don't have the cockatoos at the moment. Last time I came here, there was a whole heap of cockatoos flew over. Agave. There we go. Thanks, Thomas. I love it when knowledgeable people join my tours and fill in all my knowledge gaps, of which there are many. Look at this little tiny little new leaf. Well, I'm guessing it's not called a leaf, but you know, that new bit there. And then if I turn around this way, there we go, Annette. Told you I was trying to keep a low profile, didn't I? Hi, Elle. I have fabulous followers, don't I, Annette? They all know so much more than me. It's like that song goes, you know, I'll take you there. I'll take you there from the sapphires. I'll take you there, and you can tell me what everything is. Hi, Carol. How are we going for time? 34 minutes. I gave myself an hour for this tour. So when we finish up, as I said, we're going to try and see if we can get down quickly to the harbour front, the waterfront. But look at this one here. This one's so pretty. And then we have these massive tall ones with the flowers right at the top. I timed it well. I wasn't sure if this was flowering season for cacti and succulents or not. So I'm happy to see some flowering happening. I like this little rocky outcrop over the back here. All right, what's behind us? I've got to keep to keep looking around in all directions. Oh, well, that's rather impressive. Look at that. Annette, the most boring relationships are those where we share everything in common. I mean, you know. Squirrel. Yep, absolutely. We're doing the squirrel again. Over here. Look over here. Look over there. Oh, let's look back this way. And I'm going to do a little bit of a pan. These ones are just beautiful. I don't know what they're called, but they are rather lovely. And then over here, we've got that jacaranda over the other side of the wall as well. Just sort of offering up some colour contrast. Big prickly things. Yeah, that's the technical term, all right, for it. And this is an agave because I know that because there's a sign there that says so with a big point on the end of it. Look at that. The colour of the new growth on the inside of it. Thanks, Cynthia. And he's very sneaky. He's moved out of the way. I was going to try and catch him in frame again. I don't know where he's gone now. Okay, so let's just look back one more time at Jamie's garden before we head up to the other side. Oh yeah, I'm not bothered. He's just trying to keep a low profile and stay out of frame, that's all. Oh, here's a lovely one. Well, first of all, we've got another beautiful yucca. And then over here on my right, look at the flowers on this. Let me try and get it without the wall in it. Let me see. Lean on here. They're gorgeous, aren't they? And this is really interesting. Look at the shape. Going for shape on this one. And I'm going to zoom in on it. Let's fill our screen with this. Oh yeah, he was very Pink Panther on that one, wasn't he, in it? It was cold that day, though. It was freezing that day. This one just looks like a giant asparagus stalk to me. Up, 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 up. I seem to remember that same flower spike a year ago when I was here. Well, maybe, what was it, about 9-10 months ago. And it's gradually dying off. Cynthia, yes, the man stalking me in a trench coat. And keeping on looking behind me to make sure we're not missing anything. Here's another one of these ones with the white flower. This time we get to see it front on. And what's this one? I think we might fill the screen again. I don't have to zoom in this time. I just can walk straight up to it. Alrighty, we're almost finished. There's a couple of spectacular specimens over here. Look at that. I wish I knew the name of this one. Just a different form and shape. They're gorgeous, aren't they? And then this one here, look at this. I'm going to get up really close to it first of all. Illegally stepping on the gravel, which I shouldn't be doing. And then we'll step back and have a look at it. Oh, thanks, Annette. I don't think I will, though, because Alex was in the Botanic Gardens in Tasmania today, and we all know that when Alex does a tour, he gets lots of people and they all take lots of postcards. Anyway, it is what it is. Got another one of those cactus that we just looked at coming up. So, and this is a lovely euphorbia. Look at that. Oh, I might be in there, but not at the top. We're at with Alex. He'll be at the top for sure. All right, here's some more of these ones over here. I made a cheeky post the other day because I prevented Stefan from getting the top 3 spots. It was a little bit cheeky. I'm sure he took it in the right vein. You have about 200 of Richard. Oh, he's great. He's got a great sense of humour. I'm sure he was fine about it. But, yeah. Okay, let's leave the succulent garden. I don't know if we're going to make it down to the harbour front in the time we have left, but we're going to make a really good effort of it. So I told Richard that that was where I was heading, so hopefully he'll know where to go, because I don't know where he's gone. That's all right. That's what mobile phones are for. All right, so back to the Wallamai Pine and turn right. We'll go down to the right. Yeah, that's right. It's easy to get lost in these gardens. Pleasantly lost. No one needs to be on a time trial in here. Oh, the sun's come out too. 400. Cynthia, what on earth are you going to do with them all? But thank you. And everyone, share your photos on Facebook, because that's how we get more people interested in coming along to our tours, is when you guys help share, help spread the word. Yeah, I do that as well. I go through them later and delete. Just keep the best ones. Oh, thank you, Rhonda. Thanks for your support and generosity. I really appreciate it. So this wall up ahead is called the Macquarie Wall. And Governor Macquarie was one of our early governors of the colony. Okay, Annette, I found him. He's hiding in the bushes. Look, they've been asking about you. All right, so we're heading down towards the harbour now. This is, as I said, this is the Macquarie Wall, and it was built. Well, he didn't use his own hands, of course, but yes, it was built under his instruction. Governor Macquarie. And here's a little plaque that talks about it. Louise, hi Louise. So we've got 3 guides on as far as I know now. I haven't seen Richard in the chat, apart from very early on. Kia ora, Louise. Here we go. In 1810, at the instigation of Governor Macquarie, work began on a wall 950 feet long to separate the government domain from the town. Only this small portion of that wall now remains. So this would have all been hand hewn, as in the convicts would have been instructed to chip away to build this wall. So there's the wall up there. And we will head down this path. This is the way we're going to go. And this is the new wishing tree. So we ready? Okay, which direction do I need to go first? In earlier times, people believed that certain trees contain spirits. I don't know if it matters which direction we go first. So we're ready to make your wish? Alrighty, so we're going to walk this way 3 times. Are we going to... Alrighty. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support. So that's 1. Are we sick of it yet? You're supposed to do it 3 times in one direction, then 3 times in the other direction. Richard's helping. He's doing the 3 times in the other direction. So we're doing a joint effort. We don't have to do 3 the other way. So get ready to make your wish. This is 2 coming up. Here we go. Lots of lovely impatiens there, planted around the new Norfolk Island pine. That's 2. Thank you, Barbara. And now this is 3. Traffic jam on the roundabout. Yep, beep, beep, out of the way. Alrighty, so this is the 3rd lap of the wishing tree. Then we'll have a look at it. This is the Norfolk Island pine, the new one that replaced the old one that died and was placed here as the new wishing tree. Unfortunately, it's not going to get very high because the top was damaged in a storm. And what are we looking at? I'm being guided. Oh, the Westfield Tower. Yeah, so this is another angle of the city with the Westfield Tower in the background. Richard used to work in an office directly beneath the Westfield Tower before he decided he didn't really want to travel into the city any longer for work because it's a bit of a drag. Love coming into the city now for leisure. That's a whole other thing. All right, look at all the what do you call this stuff? Old man's beard or something, I think you call it. Nanette's saying something. Tell Richard I'm not done wishing. She wants you to do more laps. Yeah, he's not keen on that, Annette. I don't know. I'm not sure why. We just found something on the ground. What's that? Grandpa's whiskers? You have a lot of that in Florida, don't you, Fliss? I remember when I was in Fort Myers, a lot of the trees had this growing on it. Spanish moss. So there's several names for it. I don't know what this tree is. Oh, there's a plaque there. What sort of tree is it? It's tulip wood, and it's from northern Queensland down to the Bellinger River. You're from Fort Myers. Hi, Michelle. I was there, let me think. I think it was 2014 I was in Fort Myers. All right, so let's head over here. Can you tell what that is? If I zoom in, can you tell what it is? In fact, can you tell what those two things are over there, just poking through? There we go. Look at that. Completely different angle of two Sydney icons. Let's go over and have a closer look. We've got a palm grove here on our right. The Opera House, indeed, Debbie. That's where we're going to head over to have a bit of a better view of the Opera House. And in the middle over here, there's a pond. What can I tell you about the pond? There's a sculpture on the island in the middle, I believe. I'm just trying to find it, trying to see it. I don't know what these things are. Does anyone know what these things are? They're the most weird-looking plants. You need a pic of the Opera House? All right. Let's see what we can do about that. There are eels in the pond, Fliss, and there's ducks. Now there's a plaque over here that tells you that there's a plaque over here that tells you that the eels eat the ducklings and the adult ducks eat the, what are they called? Elvers. So they keep each other's populations in balance. Okay, so what have we got? We've got about 8 minutes remaining. I think we'll be able to get a spot where we can see the Opera House. I just want to get you... Here's some ibis over here. Look. Oh, there's a young chick ibis. They call them bin chickens. So, yeah, following Mama. Come on, get me some more food, Mama. And I think, I'm not too sure what this statue is. Yeah, so this one tells you about the eels, Fliss. Let me just show you this. These ibis aren't fussed at all. Look how close I can get to them. But there's a statue in the middle. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. I don't know anything about this statue. I'm not even sure if it's worth taking a postcard of, but I'll get a little closer for you. Yes, it looks like the birds like to sit on top of that one. All right, let's go this way. I'll try and get you a little closer to the Opera House. There is some sort of cannon, I think, on top of that column. And these are new garden beds being planted out. Let me just see what everyone's been saying because I missed some of the chat. Hold on. Melissa, hi. I didn't see you join. Welcome. And oh, look, here we go. There's a little, what's this guy called? I think it's a coot. Okay, let's get off the Zoom. Well, these guys are making themselves at home. There used to be a pyramid glasshouse, Rhonda, and it was removed, and now that's where the calyx is. That has the changing floral exhibition and the big green wall. Have you done one of my tours at the calyx? That's where the glass pyramid used to be. I was puzzled myself because I came back to the Botanical Gardens after many, many years looking for the glass pyramid. Couldn't find it. What's going on? So I had to do a Google search and try and find out what the history of that was. But yes, it used to, I think it was a fern house. I think they've already planted them out. I think they're probably just annuals that are gone in there. Annette. So here's one of the more modern sculptures. Yeah, I'm guessing that they've put seeds in there. That would be my guess. Or they're about to put something in on a changing, an annual type of basis. So this one is called Palm. And it says, before European settlement, this foreshore was a mud flat. Seeds and flotsam were washed up by the waves. Ships arrived on the tide in 1788 and crops were planted nearby soon afterwards. So this sculpture is intended to symbolise an elemental form washed up by the tide. There we go. And I'll get you it with some lovely yellow iris in the background. Now, if I walk east, I walk in this direction and go around the bay a little bit, we'll try and get you that view of the Opera House, because at the moment we're just getting the top of the sail. And there's the harbour bridge poking through the top as well. So let's go this way so that we can try and get, the water's washing up through the, must be very high tide. It is quite high. So this seawall was built soon after settlement as well. Again, all hand-hewn stone. This is one of the prime locations to see the New Year's Eve fireworks from. Get tickets to come and sit in the Botanical Gardens. There we go. The Opera House is just coming into view now. Sorry, I'm missing your comments at the moment because camera's pointing backwards. I'm trying to walk forwards. And I'll catch up with them in a moment. There we go. I'll just zoom in a little bit. of Liz. Okay, hang on, let me just keep going a little bit further. There's a really nice artwork on the pavement up ahead as well. And we're not done yet. So this represents the water and sea life and all of that sort of thing. A bit hard to get in the frame. But what I can do is I can get the Opera House in behind it. Look at that. It's pretty gorgeous, isn't it? All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give Richard the camera for a second, and I'm going to abandon my self-consciousness and go and stand in front of that. Okay, here I am. Okay, that's enough. I don't believe that for a second. All right, that's me overcoming my fear of being in front of the camera. Look at this gorgeous magnolia. I want to show you this. It's huge. Okay, and one last sculpture. We'll get the Opera House in the background behind it, and then I'll finish up. Look at these gorgeous rocks as well. Sydney sandstone. Did I miss something? I think I did. Oh, Will, thank you so much. And this is Australia's oldest jacaranda tree. According to, we were on a boat tour that my mother bought us a voucher for my birthday, and the host was a gardening personality who has a spot on television and radio, and he told us that's Australia's oldest jacaranda. So look at this shot, guys. We've got this beautiful sculpture and red hot pokers in the foreground, the Opera House and the Harbour Bridge in the background. Isn't that beautiful? Just trying to catch up with, Virginia, no problem. Look, I'm used to people spelling my name any which way and saying it. There's a guy who calls me Linny. Are we talking about the red hot pokers for the fragrance, or is it the magnolia? I'll have to go and check them out. Enormous flowers. Yes, those white flowers on that magnolia are massive, almost the size of dinner plates. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you, Virginia. I do like to get people's names right as well. All right, let me get over here, turn around and put myself somehow in the frame and say goodbye to everybody. All right, I can smell. Yes, I can smell the fragrance from here. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate it. And if I've missed anybody else, thank you, Michelle. The tips are what keep me going. There's a lot of research goes into my tours. I do a lot of reading and try and get you factual information as well as just pretty pictures. So I always am very grateful for any tips that you can spare. And tomorrow we're off to Featherdale, back to Featherdale. It's going to be so good. Do you remember when we were feeding the kangaroos and we saw the echidna and the penguins? All of that again tomorrow. So if you can join me on that, that would be wonderful. All right, one last shot to finish off with, and here's the boy picking a bindi eye out of his foot, that statue over there, and then I will finish up. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Rhonda. There we go. There's the boy picking a bindi eye thorn out of his foot. Okay, bye, everybody. See you tomorrow or on the next tour. Bye now.